Hi guys, my name's Jesse, and today I'm going to be giving a speech to you guys for one of my classes. If you could just introduce yourself, that would be great.
I'm Mike Bowick.
David Franks,
Gene Harden.
Jim Gregoire.
Eric Hood.
All right, so I'll start. I have a question for you guys. What do Liberia, Burma, and America have in common? I'd be surprised if anybody actually knows, but the answer is they are the only three remaining countries in the world that still use the imperial system of measurement. I've chosen to do a speech on the topic of the metric system because it's something I really wish I had learned in school. I feel like the basic measurements would have been a lot easier had I known this system from a younger age. I've read articles by ThinkMetric, A Brit's Take, and Wild Thing to support my speech. After trying to figure out how I could relate the speech to you guys, I was like, we're all American, and we all like things easy. It's just how we are. Today, I've taken it upon myself to change your life. We should start using the metric system in America because it's easier to convert, it's a lot more simple than the imperial system, and the opponent theories of the imperial system are just absurd. You may think the metric system is confusing, but let me tell you why it's not. The metric system, which is set up to be an easier system to compare units of measurement. It uses a base 10 system, which allows you to convert in between units a lot easier. Here's a visual aid showing some of the different base units. As you can see, the metric system offers an organized layout to regulate measurements. Every unit is a multiple of 10. We have 10 fingers, 10 toes. It's a lot easier to use. In addition to the multiple of 10, each consecutive measure uses the same prefix across all mediums. Kilo always means 1,000, whether it's in the meter form, the liter form, or the gram form. This makes conversion simple. You just have to add zeros. You can see right here I have 5,000 base units, and that's the value for every single different unit in that same measurement. In the novel The Wild Thing by John Basil, he states that in metric, 1 liter of water occupies 1 cubic centimeter, weighs 1 gram, and requires 1 calorie of energy to heat up by 1 degree centigrade, which is 1% of the boiling point and the freezing point. There's no way to relate these units in the imperial system. You may think the imperial system is easy, but let me tell you why it's not. The imperial system overall is just an incredibly confusing system. Unlike metric, where everything is related by a factor of 10, in the imperial system there's no such relationship. 1 cup does not simply occupy a set amount of cubic inches, there's a complex conversion factor, as there is with all other imperial system units. There are 3 main types of measurements: length, weight, and volume. There are other ones, but these are the main ones we'll deal with. In my second visual aid, you can see a few different values and definitions. In imperial system, length is represented by miles, yards, feet, inches, and somehow centimeters snuck in there. These measurements are based on observation, such as the inch being the length of the tip of your finger, or the foot being related to your foot size. A unit of weight is measured in tons, pounds, and ounces, and these were taken from the Roman system. Volume is something that's measured in gallons, quarts, pints, cups, and fluids. In the imperial system, a gallon is represented by 10 pounds of fluid of water, and all other volumes are given by their proportion of a gallon. For instance, 1 fluid ounce is equal to 1/128th of a gallon, and that's how it's defined. The most puzzling thing of all is that every single unit in the imperial system is defined by its metric value. This is actually what an inch is represented as in all standard units. This is neat because originally the imperial system was based on arbitrary values, such as the king's finger or the size of his foot, which is where we get the ruler from because it was the ruler's foot. At this point, you're probably thinking, who cares? Sounds easy, but I don't really want to change. So it seems like the switch is harder than the actual task of learning either of the systems. You may think we need to keep the imperial system, but let me tell you why we don't. Some people say we have a perfectly good system, and to that I say, did you not just hear me explain the two? Imperial system is clearly a much more difficult and complex system than the metric system. Some people say we won't change because we know the imperial system, and it's just not something they're interested in doing because they're already familiar with it. And to that I say, how many pounds are in 200 ounces? Does anybody know? How about how many ounces are in 4 gallons? I have no idea, and I'm guessing not any other people do either. So why are we so against the change? The most absurd opponent of the imperial system is that it's American. Yeah, some people think it's actually American, but it's an English system, and the English don't even use it anymore. They've decided it's not as good as the metric system. Basically, we don't even like the imperial system. We just don't like the idea of changing, especially when it means accepting that somebody else was right and we were wrong. I've told you about the ease of using the metric system, the complexity of the imperial system, and some opponent theories against switching to the metric system. Most likely America will never change, but I urge you to incorporate it into your daily lives as it's truly an easier system. You can ask scientists and engineers who use the metric system for all of their calculations, and the military who uses it in all of their operations, and they will tell you that the metric system really does measure up to all the hype. Thank you.